Hello and welcome to this workout today. We are working mobility, balance, and a little bit of stretching as we do some strength training. So it's a little bit more yoga Pilates inspired. We're going to be holding some positions. And don't worry though, I think you are going to crack a little bit of a sweat. And a lot of this is really good, especially as we are in cold weather and winter weather, and sometimes we don't think about our mobility and our flexibility as much in the winter. So it really inspired me to think about putting this workout together for you guys. So let's just go ahead and get started with a warm-up. So I do want to get the blood flowing in your body here a little bit, because I think it's very important that you warm up your body a little bit as we go into some of the flexibility, some of the stretching, and some of the mobility. So you know how I love to do my warm-ups here with my arm circles and just bring in some heat into the upper and lower body. And let's go backwards. And so you notice that the only equipment I have today is my body, of course, and a bottle of water. Keep myself hydrated. So that's all you really need today is just a little bit of hydration and your own body weight. All right, just kicking the butt right here. Let's take it up. So I'm just taking the arms up and I'm taking the arms down to the knee as I bring that knee up wide. So the first couple moves we're going to do are a little bit more cardio based, but they're also going to be working your balance as well. So like I said, don't worry, your heart rate is going to get up, even though we're doing quite a bit of stationary movements. All right, so our first exercise we're going to do is called a pull or a knee pull in. So you're going to put your weight mostly on this front leg, and you want to make sure that your knee is not rocking over your toe, but it's right here in line. It's like I'm in a little bit of a lunge. So I've got my arms up over my head, one straight line right here. I'm going to pull that knee in, put it back out. So we're going to go knee in, out. Let's go a little faster. 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to feel that heat building in that front leg. 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 8 more. 7. Hold those abs nice and tight. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So remember, if you're doing it right, that leg that's in front should be feeling it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side. Setting it up here. You don't have to be in a super deep position. We're just building some heat, guys, right now. So heat in the body. 1, 2, 3, especially in that front leg. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Keep that focus going in front of you. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to balance a little bit. 7, 8. One more set. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, should have a little bit of heat going in the legs. We're going to do a little bit of a belly dance inspired move right here. I'm going to take my arms out to the side. Just got my feet nice hip distance apart. And I'm going to reach to the side. And I'm going to reach to the other side. So notice I'm not tick-tocking my shoulders. My shoulders in the same plane of movement. It's like I got 2 glasses of water on my shoulders. And I'm just reaching from side to side. You can go hands up or you can go hands down, whichever is more comfortable for you. But we're warming up this part of the torso. We're warming up the back. We're getting a little bit of mobility, sliding through the joints, sliding through all the vertebrae in the back. And you're going to feel this in your abs a little bit too. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. All right. So we're kind of building heat from the lower body into the upper body. So let's go ahead and do a little torso rotation. So you know how I love kind of bringing the heat into the torso, warming up the core muscles, which remember your core muscles are not just those front abs, right? We think of our abs as our core muscles only, but the core really extends all the way around to the back and down into these hip flexors, right? That's all the core. Even your glutes are sometimes considered a core muscle, right? We think of our core kind of anywhere from our chest down to our hips, okay? Because that's really the trunk of our body, right? That's where all the limbs, your arms and legs, are attached to. Good. 2 and 1. Good. Okay. So bear with me a little bit here. Let's do just a little bit extra to warm up the body. This is sort of your cardio part of the workout. So we're gonna do a little bit of a balance training exercise here, and it is a little bit cardio. So I'm gonna take one leg. I've got my front leg moving. So this leg is the only one that's going to move. So it's gonna go front, and I'm just putting that knee up, kicking from the knee, putting it down, and then I'm going to kick to the back and bring it in. So it's kind of like I'm going in a teeter-totter with my leg, front and back. So notice that when I go front, I don't cave in my stomach, and when I go back, I don't arch my back either, and I don't round my back. I'm sort of like reaching forward. So you're going to notice that the opposite leg, the one that is standing in place, especially when you go into that back kick, you're going to feel that hopefully in your glute. Right there, right? You feel it? Boom, feel that glute. Holds you in place. These are all stabilizing activities. And stabilizing muscles are the core. And just learning how to keep that balance is so important for preventing falls and preventing injuries. Last one, and up. Good. So I'm going to turn it to the other side so you can see what I'm doing, but we got that opposite leg going. So I don't care if you're facing me or whether you turn side to side and do this. Doesn't matter to me as long as you're doing it right. So we've got that front kick, and then I lean forward, back kick. So I'm not going all the way into a tabletop, but I'm just letting my body lean forward so that boom, right here, I'm not arching my back, right? I don't want to put that stress on my lower back. I want to put the stress on this glute, on the leg that is holding me in place. If you're losing your balance a little bit, that's okay. You want to grab a chair? Grab a chair. Put the chair right next to you and use that for a little bit of balance until you get a little bit more confident. But I want you to start and try to do more exercises without, worrying about putting your hand on the chair, getting balance. Try to test your balance a little bit because that's how it gets better. Every time you feel like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to fall over, right? That means your balance is improving a little bit more because your body has to figure out how to keep you upright, right? And back, let's do one more. Forward and back. So I hope you're feeling that on the back of that glute, and I'm sure you were feeling that in your stabilizing in your core. So let's go ahead and do some mobility now, okay? So this one's actually really fun, and it takes me back to my dance days, so I love it. If I've got any dancers out there watching this video, I'm sure you'll appreciate this too. So we're going to start with our arms up in a T position, and I'm going to reach over to the side. Now watch this. I'm going to come over to the opposite side, and then I'm going to come back up, and then I'm going to go to the opposite side, take it up and over, get that good stretch on that side, and up. Good. So we did some warming it up, right? We did some mobility with it, and now we're doing a little bit of stretching and mobility. So we're working through all those little itty bitty muscles, right? The ones that hold us up. They keep us from falling. They keep our skeleton up, right, during the day. But sometimes we don't work all these tiny little muscles in our core and our back. So we're going to change it up now. We're going to go over to the side. I'm going to take it up and over. Now watch this. I'm going to come into a downward position. My hands kind of swoop towards the ground. Then I'm going to come up to the other side. And then I'm going to come up through the center. Now we're going to go the opposite way. So over and reach. I want you to really elongate your back right here. Let your hips come up a little bit as you drop towards the floor. You don't want to arch your back and you don't want to round it too much. I'm going to show you from the side so you can see a little bit there. So I'm going to take it over, coming to you. So watch this. My knees bend a little bit and I elongate my back, right? I'm not totally rounded and I'm not sticking my butt out in the air, but I'm just nice and neutral. Over and up. This is that yoga training, right? That elongating the spine, letting all of the energy and all of the blood flow in between all of your vertebrae, right? Over. We've got one more each side here. Good. So remember, keep that back nice and lifted and up and over. Let's take it one more time to this side and down. Remember, don't lock out those knees. Keep your little bit of micro bend on the knees, over and down. Good. So we were working through, some of the mobility in the hips, upper, lower back, and also, right, somewhat in the shoulders too, because we're moving around. So I have got another little dance move coming up, and I love this so much. But this is basically something that I love to do with my belly dance classes. It's a hip circle. So we're going to take it. We're going to take the hips to the one side. And remember, I don't want to lock my knees out, guys. You never want to lock your knees out. You want to keep them a little bit bent so that you can have some more mobility in those hips. So I'm putting my hands on my hips, just nice and easy. So I'm going to go one side. I'm going to scoop my hips around to the back, come to the other side, and then around towards the front, like I'm sticking my pelvis towards you guys, right? So over, around, side, and forward, and over, around, side, and forward. So if you have a mirror at home, I would love for you to practice this in front of your mirror because I want you to think about keeping your shoulders in one spot. Notice I'm not throwing my body around, right? I'm keeping my shoulders in line on this vertical or a horizontal plane rather, right? So let's take it a little bit smoother. Let's just try to smooth out that hip circle. Good. And I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what's happening in the back. But we've got that hip circle just nice and easy. Guys, this should feel really, really good, especially if you are sitting a lot during the day, really working out those hips and really letting those tiny muscles and all of the little ligaments and joints and stuff that go around those muscles, let them open up, let them get a little air and a little breath, right? And some energy flowing through them, blood flowing through them. We're gonna go to the opposite side. So I'm gonna take to this side first and then back. So I'm almost going in 4 points, right? Making a box. So making a side and then back and then side and then front. So I start with these really exaggerated movements just to get my body used to where my hips are going, right? Because sometimes these are a little bit unfamiliar moves. If we don't do this every day, we might be going, I don't know, I look really silly right now. I don't know. You probably look beautiful and sexy while you're doing this, so don't even worry about it. Side and front. And let's smooth it out. So go ahead and put on some like salsa music or, like something fun to do this workout because I'm going to have you kind of getting into these motions as you do this. And I want you to just feel your body here. Feel all those things waking up in your hips. Feel yourself sliding through those little ligaments, those little filaments in your hips, in your butt, in your legs, right? And you should be feeling this a little bit in your legs because they're a little bit bent. And you're using them to keep you going around in that motion all the way back, around, and up. All right, very good. Beautiful, beautiful job. Okay, so I'm going to do another little hip opener here, but I am actually going to grab a chair because I think this will help us to hold our balance a little bit and we won't have to focus so much on that. We'll just be able to do the move. So I'm going to grab a chair. Go ahead and grab yours. All right, so I've got my chair and I'm just holding it here so I can get a nice, comfortable balance. Okay, so I'm going to put my feet together with my toes apart and my heels together right here. And I'm going to lift my leg to the front and I've got a bent knee right here. Okay, so you can see that. and I'm gonna go out to the side and then back in. So my leg is in front, up, I'm gonna go out to the side, back in, and point it down. So it's a bent knee, up, out, in, and down. So up, out, in, and down. And we're using our stabilizing muscles, right? All of our core is working, this standing leg is working. I'm really feeling this in the front and inside of my thigh. So I want you to make sure that your hips are not rocking. Your hips are staying right to the front. Remember that chair is there for balance, in and out. So I'm trying to keep that knee right in line with my hip. Down and up, out, in, down. Let's do one more. Out, in, and down. Good. So I am going to move the chair to the other side. Always remember to move your chair with proper form there. Very good. All right, so my heels are together. I'm in first position. My hand is just lightly tapping on the chair. I'm going to point that toe forward. We're going to lift that leg out to the side, back in, and down. So you might feel a little squeeze right there on the outside of the glute as you do this too. Out, in, and down. And guys, if you are doing this right and you are like squeezing every single muscle, using your core to keep you held, using your leg to keep you upright, I promise you are going to sweat when you do this workout. Out, in, and down. So if you're not, I want you to think a little harder about what you can squeeze up, out, in, and down. And my hand is on my hip, and it's almost like feeling that slide happening in that hip joint. Out, in, and down. Let's do one more. Up, out, in, and down. Good. So I'm going to transition to the other side. I'm going to bring my chair, and I'm actually going to bring it in front of me right here. I'm going to put two hands on the chair and one leg in back of me like this. And I am just going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to lift my leg, what's called an attitude. So you can flex your toe and point your toe. So I'm going to lift it up in a little attitude. It doesn't have to be super high. I actually want your back to be nice and tall. So we're going to point the toe, flex the toe. Point and flex, point and flex. So I've got a nice stationary leg. It's a little bit bent, not locked out. Point and flex, point and flex. So you're feeling it in this glute. I want you to squeeze this back glute right here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I want you to check in with yourself. Do you have a death grip on your chair, or are you just lightly putting your hands on the chair to keep you from falling over? It's more there to help you with your balance and keeping your body upright. So again, when you do this, I don't want you to turn your hip towards me. I want both of your hips towards the chair. So we're going to lift that leg, and we're just going to go flex the foot, point the foot, flex the foot, point the foot, flex and point. So when you flex, you're just bringing your toes towards your body. When you point, you're bringing your toes away from your body. Good. So it's not, right? My leg is not super high. I'm just squeezing in the back. You should feel this on the stationary leg and definitely on that glute with the leg that's up in the air. And 2, and 1. Woo! Good. Whoa, guys, I am feeling that. Serious, I am feeling that. Okay, let's go ahead and work the triceps. You know how I love to work the triceps. So we're going to hold on to the chair. Okay, and I'm going to actually put this so you can see it right there, get a good camera angle for you. And I'm going to go ahead and just sit on the chair. So we're going to do a little bit of a hold this week. So remember I said that this workout is more about some isometric movement. So we're not always going to be moving quickly through some of these exercises. We're going to take our time, focus, breathe, and hold some of these poses. It's going to be especially fun when we come down into plank. So I want you to walk your feet out just a little bit further. So this would be 90 degrees, and this is just a little bit wider than 90 because I'm going to lift my butt off the chair and hold myself in this position. So I want you to hold, and your butt is just right off the chair. So you're not way out here. your butt is actually just right next to the edge of the chair. Good, I'm holding, breathing. If you need to, you can always rest that butt on the chair, but our fingertips are off the edge of the chair in the front, and I'm just holding it, squeezing the back of my triceps. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's just come into a seated position. Good, we're gonna do that one more time, at least one more time, and we're gonna do a little leg lift with it this next time. So we've done something like this on the ground, and it's just a little different when you change it up and you add a piece of furniture in there. So why not, right? Let's get the fingertips off the chair. Let's come into that position, lift that butt, and we're gonna go here. We're gonna walk one foot out, other leg out. Good, so I'm just working my mobility now, and I'm just working the strength in my quadriceps. And when you're kicking, I hope you're taking the focus off how much it burns in your arms. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Whew. Take a second. Let's shake those arms out. We've got one more time just like that. We're going to hold into that position, and we're going to do that leg kick, all right? Whew. One more time, and then we're going to move on to something else. I promise. 5, 6. Here we go. And kick it up and down. And make sure that you're keeping it stable, right? My upper body is hardly moving. I'm not going here, right? I'm not thrusting my hips as I do that. My hips are staying right by the chair. I can almost feel that chair just lightly on the back of my butt. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water, and I am going to meet you down on the ground for the next series of exercises here. Okay guys, so we are on the ground for this last little series here, okay? So the first one we're gonna do is a plank. So I'm gonna get the planks out of the way so that we can get on with the rest of the workout. So let's come into a tabletop position here. You know how I love to set up my planks. So my hands are right underneath my shoulders. I'm tucking my back in. I'm not arching my back, and I'm not rounding it up, but it's in one nice position, head to my hips. And I'm gonna step back into a plank, and we are going to hold a plank position. I don't know that we've done this in a while, so let's just hold it out. So here we go. Go up to those toes. Come on, you earned it. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, keep breathing. 5, slow in through your mouth, slow in through your nose, and slow out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. So check in with yourself. Do you find that you're dipping your back? Do you find that you're rounding your back? Try to find that neutral position. If you got a mirror, it's a great way to see if you're in line. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's drop. Good. So this next one, I know we've done something like this before, but we're going to come into a plank, and we're going to work that mobility in the back and the shoulder joint, and we're going to go into our down dog. So we're going to come into a position here where we're on all fours. We're going to come into a plank. So remember, down dog is when your butt's up in the air and your legs are straight behind you. So let's step it back into a plank first. So we're going to go from here. We're going to pull up the abs, pull the butt up to the ceiling into your down dog. And I like to bring my feet a little bit wider apart. Honestly, for this, it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to go here, and then let's transition back into that plank. Back up into a down dog. So I want you to squeeze your abs and pull like you got a string tied around your abs, tied around your waist, and the string pulls your abs, pulls your midsection up to the ceiling right there. So you go into a triangle, keep the head in line with the spine. You don't want to look down, and you don't want to be looking up way over your hands. You just want to have that head just in line. It's just following where the body goes. Good, we got a couple more here. So this is a little bit of a stretch, right? This should feel good. And then this is a working position, right? Woo! So feel that burn right there in that plank. And let's come back up. And we got one more. Let's come on down. And and let's drop the knees. Let's come into a child's pose, right? Good. Let's just stretch it out right here. Child's pose. Woo, should feel really, really excellent at this point of the workout. Okay, cool. So let's come into a position where we are sort of in like an all fours position, right? So if you can see, I've got one knee in front, I've got one leg behind, and I'm gonna take the hand that is with the leg that's in front, okay, that hand's gonna come behind your body right here. So I'm gonna go to the side just so you can see me here real quick. So I've got one knee in front, one leg that's kind of going behind. I got this hand here. I'm gonna bring my arm up and I'm gonna stretch up. So I want you to feel this stretch on the back leg, okay? You should feel it in the quadricep, that muscle that runs down the very front of the leg on the top. And I want you to feel it in that hip flexor, right? The hip flexor is right where your thigh meets your hip in the front. Kind of like the front part of the, bottom of the pelvis. All right, let's come back down, just gently down. And now I'm gonna stretch over that front leg. So I'm right here in this position here. I'm still holding, and I'm just coming down into this position, just holding a nice stretch over that front leg. Good, let's do one more just like that. So plant that hand behind you, reach it on up. So again, you wanna really reach through this back leg is where you're feeling the stretch in that pelvic area, in the hip, all the way down. You should feel it all the way from the hip to the knee. Stretching that quad. Woo! I feel so good after sitting all day. Oh my gosh, what a gift. Hallelujah, feels so good. All right, just coming down into that front position. We're gonna switch sides here in just a moment. Whew, my bobby pin is coming out of my hair. All right, oh, there it is. Okay, to fix that. All right, thank goodness we're almost done. So let's take the other side. So I'm gonna flip over. So now I've got my opposite leg in front, my opposite foot in back. I'm just in a nice seated four position here. And I'm gonna take this arm that's by the front leg and I'm gonna stick that behind me and just stretch up, just nice and easy. Guys, if you feel pain, which is like a burning, like a burning ow, stabbing, oh my God, something is wrong, then you need to just ease up on that stretch a little bit, right? But I want you to really feel that stretch. I want you to really take time, breathe, get into it, feel what your body's doing. Down. And let's come over that front leg. So you're probably going to notice that one side is a little bit more flexible than the other. Like the other side for me was a little bit easier to stretch over this front leg. So be in tune with that too, right? Understand which leg is more flexible, which hip is tighter, which side of your body is stronger when you try to hold that balance. That is all part of learning about your body and all part of getting better at all this stuff, right? So let's take it one more time. Up in the air. Good, very good. All right, excellent job. So nice stretch there. And we're gonna slowly lower the hips to the ground. And one more time, I want you to come over that front leg and just keep that back nice and tall, right? We don't have to, I'm just gonna come into this camera angle a little bit here. Remember, you don't have to arch your back, and you don't have to round it over. Just nice and easy, nice stretch over the front of that leg. Very good, very good, very good. All right, so I'm gonna come into a seated position here. We've got one more little thing that we're gonna do. So I'm gonna hold it here. So I'm gonna show you from the side and then I'll show you kind of from the front. So you can hold your hands kind of behind you in this position, or you can hold your hands in front of you if you wanna work on stabilizing and those core muscles in the back. So I'm gonna lift one leg, I'm gonna bring it out to the side, tap it out to the side, and then back into the front. So lift and tap out, back and tap in. Lift and tap out, back and tap in. Lift and tap out, back and tap in. So if you feel like you're caving your back a little bit, just put your hands behind you, right? Lift and out. So you should feel this, again, in your quad, You should feel this a little bit in your inside of your leg, outside of your leg, out and in. We're just working on that mobility, flexibility, and we're working a little bit of strength here too. Out and in. Let's do one more each side, back nice and tall. And in. Good. Okay. Let's bring it up, and we're just gonna reach over to the front. Good. I feel like in all of this, you should feel maybe a little bit more flexible, right? Maybe you're able to reach your back a little bit stronger and reach towards your legs a little bit further after we did some of these mobility and opening up your hips, opening up the back side of your glutes, opening up the core, and incorporating a exercise routine like this into your routine will really help you with your other workouts, because it's going to give you the ability to get a lot deeper, right? You're going to be able to get a lot deeper in your lunges and in your squats and things like that. So really going to be very helpful. I'm going to take one leg, cross it over the other, bring my opposite arm to that leg and just stretch. Good. Once you feel this in the back of your shoulder, side of that hip a little bit, make sure both butt cheeks are on the floor right now. Very good. All right. And let's just unwind right here. Let's take the opposite leg over to the opposite side. I'm gonna see you on the flip side there. Go ahead and stretch that other side. Make sure you're not rotating that bottom leg in, but keeping it nice and rotated out. Both hip bones on the floor. Good, and I'm gonna come and sit towards you right here. We're gonna just open up the hips right here in the seated position. I want you to bring your arms up over your head. So we're going to bend the elbows, and you're gonna squeeze the back of your shoulder blades together, and then you're gonna lift your hands back up over your head. So we're going down and up. Good, you should almost feel like you're squeezing the back of your shoulder blades. And down and up. One more, down and up. Good, so let's bring the hands down and let's lock the fingers and push it out right here. You can kind of round your back just a little bit in this position. Come around with the arms to the back and just gently clasp your hands behind your butt. I want you to reach up with that chest, not looking up to the ceiling, but not looking down at the floor either, just kind of nice and straight ahead. Whew. This was kind of a tough workout, guys. I put you through some pretty challenging things, especially when we were doing a lot of stabilizing muscle things, and we were doing those planks. Gosh, that was really challenging. So just because you're not moving quickly and moving fast through these workouts does not mean that they're not challenging your body, right? We're working all of those really little tiny, like I said, ligaments, filaments, where the muscles slide in and out of the joints. All of that stuff needs to get worked and stretched and warm every once in a while. So let's take it up and over, kind of like we did in the beginning. Let's come through the middle, like you're kind of wading in a water, right? Wading in a pool of water. Come up to the side and over and up. I like to imagine like I am on the beach. I'm right on the shore. My hands just go in that sand. I feel that water and I just come up. Oh, refreshing. Water comes up over my head. Let's go one more time to each side. So over. Put your hands down in that sand and move the sand around in that water. Feel the warmth. Feel the cool breeze coming over you as you feel the warmth of that sand, the coolness of the water, the warmth of the sun. And one more time, hands through the water on the sand and up and over. All right. Excellent job today. I will see you back tomorrow, and I know that you're going to feel it in places you didn't know you had. And also when you go back to your workouts, you're going to notice the difference in how much your range of motion has improved and your flexibility. I'll see you next time.